Thanks for coming out and watching the oxymoronic Reddit Professional Show, where I showcase the best and worst of the internet. Here I comment on brilliant and hilarious comment chains regarding dumb shit on the internet for you to enjoy. Make sure to subscribe, hit the little bell button so that you get notifications every time we come up with a new video. Enjoy this week's show.
Rowdy Ronda Rousey here. Ask me anything. Do you sometimes wish your fights would last a little longer than just a few seconds? No, because the shorter my fights are, the more fights I can have. I only have a finite amount of fight time, and I'd like to fight as long as possible. What's your go-to hype music before a fight? I have complete silence before I walk out before a fight. No talking in the locker room, no music, cell phones on silent. If I hear a ding from you taking a video, you're gonna get your own private rowdy glare. I don't want a lot of things in life, but a rowdy glare just entered my top 5. Good to know, but they're expensive. Like Atlanta rapper expensive or Saudi prince expensive. 'Cause I can rob a rapper. I promise to use it in the most devious ways possible. Hi Rhonda. I recently discovered that you had childhood apraxia of speech, CAS, growing up. I'm a new speech therapist and a huge fan. Do you feel as though overcoming CAS helped you become the tenacious fighter we know you are today? Is there any message you'd like to send to kids out there struggling with speech? I'd also love to know what you liked/didn't about speech therapy, and what you wished your speech therapist said or did for you. Thanks so much. I love my speech therapist. I thought she was super cool and I didn't even know I was in speech therapy. I'd like to tell any kid struggling with speech that anything can be overcome with hard work regardless of how insurmountable the odds seem. Shout out to all speech therapists. You're all awesome. And the best thing about my recovery was that I was never allowed to feel interior. Hey Rhonda. 2 questions. What achievement in your life are you the most proud of? What is your idea of a great date? Winning my Olympic medal. Doing absolutely nothing. If a guy is lame, he'll have to come up with activities to distract you from his lameness. If he's all kinds of awesome, doing nothing with him would be all kinds of awesome. Hi Rhonda. With your exponential increase recently in exposure and recognition, do you worry about the amount of control that the media has over your image? And have you run into circumstances where you felt you were misrepresented or portrayed inaccurately by the media? I accept that I have no control over my image already. So, I try not to let the state of my perception have any effect on my happiness. You can never truly know anyone through only media anyway. If anything, I just try to keep in mind that I'm an entertainer and not a politician or Miss America. If you could fight any historical figure, who would it be? Buffalo Bill. Him destroying the buffalo population of America also destroyed the Native American culture, and coming from Jamestown, ND, which boasts having the largest statue of a buffalo in the world, the plight of the buffalo is quite near and dear to my heart. I'm incredibly inspired by your eating disorder recovery through UFC. When I was struggling with anorexia, I felt so weak and powerless, and feel so strong after recovery. How does it feel to conquer something so daunting? I feel like it makes you invincible. I'm incredibly inspired by your eating disorder recovery through UFC. When I was struggling with anorexia, I felt so weak and powerless, and feel so strong after recovery. How does it feel to conquer something so daunting? I feel like it makes you invincible. Thanks for the kind words. It feels very liberating to free of the guilt that used to come with every meal. And I feel like I have so much extra space in my brain now that I'm not constantly thinking about the next meal and trying to eat as much as possible every day while still losing weight. I feel amazing. I think I look amazing. And I just ate some bomb French toast this morning. I'm so happy to hear about all the progress you've made on yourself, and best of luck for the future. What is your sincere opinion about Cyborg? How do you think your fight against Tate and hopefully Cyborg will play out, assuming perfect physical and mental condition from both sides? Do you think you would legitimately beat Floyd Mayweather in a ruleless fight? What do you have to say about Mike Tyson's rumored return to the ring? How do you think Fedor Emelianenko will do in the octagon after all these years of absence? Thanks for the AMA, much love and the best of luck to you in the future. Sincere opinion about Cyborg: she's just waiting to be offered enough money to get her ass kicked, 'cause she knows she'll get her ass kicked. I know for a fact she can make the weight. She consulted with Mike Dolce, my current nutritionist, before I ever started working with him, and after consulting with her he said he could get her in the best shape of her life, at 135. She then started being represented by Tito Ortiz and all talk stopped. The delay is all about money, not her weight. She made 145 pumped full of steroids. She can healthily make 135 without them. Her shows that she headlines lose thousands of dollars, and the majority of the tickets are given away because no one will buy them. She needs me. So pretty much we're waiting for her to realize that she needs to fight me before I retire, or she'll never have enough money to retire. I would like me kicking her ass be my retirement fight, but whether she steps up or not, I'll walk away undefeated and happily ever after regardless. Do I think I would legit beat Mayweather in a ruleless fight? Floyd is one of the best boxers of all time. He would definitely beat me in a boxing match. I unfortunately don't get into matches. I fight for a living. In a no-rules fight, I believe I can beat anyone on this planet. Boxing is a sweet science with strict rules that I respect very much and aspire every day to improve at. But you said ruleless fight, and that's my honest answer. I'd be surprised if Mike Tyson returned to the ring, but could imagine he would do it in a charity kind of capacity, and if so, good for him. Ring rust is a real serious thing that is hard to overcome, and of course I wish Fedor the best, but that much of a layoff would affect anyone's performance, which is why I fight so often. Hey Ronda. My name is Tiffany and I'm 15 years old. I first read about you last year and you have had such an impact on my life. My dad died when I was younger too. I've had confidence problems, which teenager hasn't? I'd never played sports in my life and I didn't think I could ever be athletic. You're my hero and you inspire me to do the best that I can in everything I do. Now I'm training in MMA, judo-based, and one day I hope to be the UFC bantamweight champion too, after you retire OFC. Thanks for changing my life. Sorry this is pretty jumbled, kind of freaking out. When I meet you I swear I'm going to really lose it and cry. Just answer one of my questions and you'll make my life, LOL. Question: what would be the coolest fighter nickname? I need one for when I go pro. Question: how do you feel about Fedor's comments about you and women's MMA? Question: when are you coming to New York again? Question: how tolerant are you of eyebrow plucking? My mom tells me to suck it up because you probably do, but I hate it. Question: do you still train with Gawker? And could you drop by his seminar on September 13th if you happen to be in New York? Hey. Whether or not Ms. Rousey replies to you, I think what you're doing is awesome. Not a lot of people would be able to cope with what you're going through, or do so in such a positive way. I'm just an internet stranger, but you are doing amazing. Keep it up, and don't let anyone tell you differently. He has yet to see the light. I hope he does someday. You recently said that Fallon Fox should not be fighting women in MMA matches. Why do you disagree with the Association of Boxing Commission's policy regarding the licensing of transgender athletes? I think that transgender athletes should be approved on a case-by-case basis and have a doctor judge whether there is a physical advantage or not. Because there is a big difference between gender reassignment pre- and post-puberty, at least based on the research I have done. Who is your favorite Mortal Kombat character? I would always play as Princess Katana, cause in the Sega version you could press down and punch up vs the computer and get to the fifth guy from the top with all flawless victories because the computer wouldn't learn to throw you from the floor until it was almost the end. Favorite male fighter to watch in the UFC? Demetrius Johnson. I think he's the most well-rounded and I feel like I'm watching one of the later episodes of Dragon Ball Z when you only see 1 second of action going on between them disappearing, cause they're going so damn fast. I wouldn't be surprised if rocks start levitating around the ring because of all the energy emanating from it. Mike Mouse vs. Dominic Cruz was one of my favorite, and most underappreciated, fights ever. What's up Ronda? Who is your favorite Game of Thrones character from the books, and what would your sigil be if you were a character? I always get super stoked when I see it's a Daenerys, the anti-DNB, chapter, and would get really bummed when I saw it was a Catelyn chapter. But for some reason my heart is always Team Stark. My sigil would be a Mew with Vegeta hair. Hi, Ronda. As a former moderator of Game Talk, I was chosen to submit a question to you from our community. As other Redditors might know, Ronda's infamous Pokemon gaming profile was on our site, and Ronda was a moderator as well. Here is our question. If you could choose any one fighting type Pokemon to battle in the Octagon, which Pokemon would that be and why? Thanks for doing this AMA. Sincerely, your friends at Game Talk. Hey Game Talk. Throw, because he's the judo Pokemon and would challenge me the most. What race is your mage? Tai Chi Panda doesn't have races. I have a Night Elf Hunter on WoW. Yeah, I know everyone starts with that, but I also have a Blood Elf Rogue that I'm working on. Can you please tell reporters to stop asking you and Dana about Cyborg? It's getting old. I'd be like Marshawn Lynch and just say the same thing over and over, perhaps. Let me know when she's 135. Having the same conversation over and over reminds me of bartending, and I'm thankful for the training I received having to deal with stupid questions from repetitive drunks. I only do it because I know I'll receive tips at the end. Would you ever consider entering WWE after you retire? Definitely. I love being in WrestleMania and will find a way to get back in the squared circle, I just have no clue when. And any real wrestling fan would want to be surprised anyway. Do you ever think finish her in a Mortal Kombat announcer voice when you're taking down an opponent? In all seriousness, what's your top piece of advice for young, and not so young, women looking to get into MMA or other competitive fighting-oriented sports? Only in post. The advice, for any woman trying to break into a male-dominated career, I'd say the greatest thing you can do is always keep in mind that you always have the right to be there.
If you enjoyed this week's effective way to waste time, hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. If you are enjoying the series, leave me a comment below. A special shout out to the content creators. You frickin' rock.